that's on your mind. Okay. All right, so a little brief history. And I like this because I've heard about this actually coming down here to Indianapolis. Way back, one of the earliest uses of social media actually came from bulletin boards used online. This is way before, back in the day when you had modems, back way before we even got to a point where computers were part of your personal, part of the of your thought process for even having it for your house or home. And I wanted to bring this up, and you'll see in a moment just why I'm bringing this up. That started back in Chicago about 1978. And it was basically used to announce events, mostly around universities or big businesses, basically for a certain community. In its heyday, it used to have over 100,000 of these bulletin board systems. So this is way back in the beginning. So a question that comes up is, once arrived, how do we get the party going? And definitely not through Will Ferrell. So the changes since '78, and there have been a lot. And I sat down and thought about this. I wanted to give you kind of just 6 key ideas of what kind of brought us here. One of the most obvious is increased speed on the internet, having an internet infrastructure that allows for that, broadband and Wi-Fi, making it more convenient to get information back and forth, rather than trying to rely. And yes, there are people who still use modems, but for the most part, a lot of people are using broadband. You have a lot of services that allow you to do it much faster. As I kind of alluded to before, the adoption of the computer as a household essential. No longer was a computer this luxury item of sorts. It was now something where it was important to your life for getting things done. Scripting, language, and web design. And the reason I brought this on, and I thought this was very important, and we had talked a little bit about this with JavaScript, just the idea of getting to a point with a website where you have scripting language that makes it a little easier to do certain functions. Again, that made it a lot faster, a lot easier, a lot more convenient. A fourth idea, and this one is it sounds a little strange, but it's actually a very good point. And this was brought in a book called Social Media Marketing by Dave Evans. And it's about blocking spam. As the internet grew, you have more and more people that were trying to figure out how can I advertise, and obviously spam became a big deal as well too. So when software was developed to block spam that was coming into your email, that was the first time that advertisers really had to deal with the concept that instead of putting something on a TV show, a radio show, or some sort of medium, that the users just had to listen to it. It's now becoming much more participatory, in that you can make a choice and say, if this is spam, this is not content that's useful for me, I can block it. So this point really kind of, in and of itself, kind of just was a flexing point where it became this sort of point that said, hey, we really need to come up with ways of making it much more convenient. Convergence of electronic features, again, the phone, the TV, the computer, more features that you're seeing being used every day between having a television that can double as a monitor, or having your phone that now can be used for certain computer features as well. And then, of course, the rise of digital media, photos, music, and documents, making it easier to share. All these things combined kind of create this point where now we get to the point of social media.